this day, I had a small moment and a quiet realization. The truth is, I didn't plan to think about anything on this day. I wasn't looking for a lesson. I wasn't trying to slow down either. I was just washing tomatoes. Yeah, I was washing tomatoes. I wanted to make tomato sauce. So I went to the market, bought some tomatoes and onion that I will use to prepare the sauce. I poured everything into a bowl in the sink. I was standing by the kitchen sink. I poured enough water into the bowl. I used both hands to wash the tomatoes clean. The tap was not rushing, but I used the water I got from the tank outside. I washed them longer than necessary. Not because they were dirty, as you can see, they are all fresh, neat, and beautiful. Allow me to use the word beautiful. And also, I wasn't in a hurry to leave. You know that point where you get to, you just lose yourself and forget about every other thing around you and just let your mind play around. I took so much time washing these tomatoes. I ensured I removed those parts that were not edible. I didn't want any distraction when I start slicing the tomatoes. I want everything to go smoothly. There was no urgency, no noise, just the quiet rhythm of something simple, be done slowly. At this point, I didn't know most of the things I was doing were not showing. I was just enjoying the moment, washing the tomatoes. Removing those parts that I do not want to see in the tomatoes. Yeah, it's a slow process. So I was done with the first round of washing. I want to wash it the second time. It's not because I have so much water in the kitchen. It was because I was enjoying the moment. I used both hands to wash at first, and then I used my hand to wash it and rinse off the water from the tomatoes. Then I went ahead to bake the onion. later realized they were not going to be enough. But right now, I had to peel off the body of the onion that were not edible. When I was done peeling it, I placed it in the bowl. And I went ahead to peel the second one. The second one was very tiny. So I had to wash it separate and then join it to the tomato and then added it to the middle. Then added it to the tomato in the bowl. I poured more water and washed it again. For the third time. So I transferred it to the stainless. So I transferred it to the stainless. So I transferred it to the stainless lid. Because I'm going to use the bowl to put the sliced tomato. Took my spatula. Over here we call it toner. Then I will use sliced tomatoes. I had to leave the kitchen. And it took eventually I carried everything outside, away from the sink, away from the enclosed space of the kitchen. There was a table outside. It was nothing fancy, just steady and white and whitish, as if it's dusty, but it's actually not dusty because this table was actually used. So I had to take these things outside to vent, away from the sink, away from the enclosed space of the kitchen. There was a table outside, nothing fancy, it was just steady, and waiting to be used. I placed the tomatoes down gently. Out there. The air felt different out here. More open, less demanding. The moments something feels incomplete. Slides slowly, but not slowly, because at this point, I was a little bit fast. I didn't feel incomplete. Gentle with a knife, but gentle with a knife because the knife is very sharp. I don't mind the size of it. And I began to slice. It's very sharp. It wasn't slowly, but a little slow. I wasn't counting minutes, but time seemed. Because at this point I realized I needed to change position. The knife moved. So you can see what I'm doing. Sound was steady. Unpredictable. I wasn't counting minutes though. The time seemed to suffer. And I realized how the knife moved, the sound was steady, predictable, something almost comforting. I realized how rare it is to give something our full attention without expecting anything in return. No reproductive goal, no No reward waiting at the end, just movement, closing presence. As I kept cutting, my thoughts began to flow with my hands. Not so slow though. Fast. And I was cutting the tomatoes with care because this knife was very sharp. As I kept cutting, my thoughts began to slow with my hands. The kind of soft that doesn't ask questions, the kind that doesn't replay old conversation, the kind that doesn't rush toward tomorrow. It's not disappear, just soften. I noticed my breathing, how it deepened without effort, how my shoulders lowered when I wasn't watching them. And that's when it happened. The realization. Not loud, not dramatic, just clear. I spent so much of my life ahead of myself, living in what's next, preparing for what hasn't arrived. Even when nothing is wrong, my mind is already solving problems that doesn't exist yet. It's not a good place to be in, but you know the human mind. Sometimes you can't control it. It just goes where it likes. But right there where I was cutting these tomatoes, under the open air, there was nothing to solve. Just nothing needed improvement. Nothing needed speed. I spent so much of my life ahead of myself. The moment was already complete. I just kept slicing, living in what's letting the repetition guide me, preparing for what hasn't arrived. I'll tell you from experience that it is such a stressful place to be in. To find yourself thinking, worrying over something you have no control over. It's not a good place to be in. Even when nothing is wrong, my mind is already solving problems that don't exist yet. But right there where I was slicing these tomatoes, cutting them under the open air, there was nothing to solve. Absolutely nothing to solve. Nothing needed improvement. Nothing needed speed. The moment was already complete. I kept slicing, letting the repetition guide me. You know, there's something grounding about doing one small thing well, about staying with it until it's done. There's no multitasking, no distractions, just this slicing on your hand, slicing tomatoes or whatever it is you find yourself doing. Then I thought about how often we ruin ourselves, even when no one is chasing us. How rest feels undeserved. How stillness feels uncomfortable. Yes, here I was, moving slowly, and nothing bad was happening. Can you imagine? The world didn't smiled. Listening not because sometimes I smiled. Well, as soon as we finished, everything was complete. Not perfect, just complete. And that was enough. Now, as you listen, you don't need to imagine anything. You don't need to follow the story. You don't need to stay awake. Just let the words pass through you like water over tomatoes, like air moving through an open space. If your thoughts